Hey guys, REI 360 Show, episode number 16. Chris Haddon, Jason Balin, as always. Today's topic is small pipeline syndrome. What is small pipeline syndrome? It's a term that we coined years ago when we first started in real estate. Basically what it means is you don't have enough deals in the pipeline, so you're doing all this micromanaging and nitpicking of the few transactions you do have. Why do you feel like you have to do that? Simply because you can't afford to lose the paychecks that are coming from those closings. We understand. And we've been there ourselves. We ourselves in the past at one time have had small pipeline syndrome too. A couple examples. You want to jump into an example or two of how you can tell if somebody is suffering from this condition?
Usually the key thing to know is if you have a small pipeline is you're just doing defensive transactional things on a regular basis instead of the productive offensive things that you should be doing.
Even
on a regular
crazy
basis.
transactional things that you should not be doing at all.
I mean, driving, to different states, cross country to pick up a contract, or just pounding on title companies every day, like, where's the abstract, where's the abstract? Stuff that you have no control over. You think by pounding on somebody regularly, you're gonna make yourself feel better like you're actually a part of the transaction.
That is a common thing that people with small pipeline syndrome do, is they harass everyone else in the transaction.
This has to close tomorrow, this has to close tomorrow, we gotta do this, we gotta do this, we gotta do that.
Yeah, and of course there is stuff that has to be done in a transaction. We aren't saying, like, we have a percentage of our day every day that is spent on transactional stuff, getting deals closed and funded, and that's part of it. We get it. But having that discipline to spend, we see that as defense, and having the discipline to spend a good portion of every day on offense, on growth, on marketing, on systems, whatever else, is how you eventually get out of having small pipeline.
You just can't be dependent on one transaction, because I'll tell you that if you're in a bad spot, because that deal will fall apart. It just
Murphy's
happens.
Law, right?
Yeah, it really is. And I would say that 1 out of 8, 1 out of 10 deals kind of just always fall apart.
Sure.
And they're not because anything you did wrong. That's the thing. So what you're doing is not really changing anything. An abstract comes back, or there's a huge title issue, or there's this, or there's that. Stuff that really you couldn't control anyways. So let the transaction, take its course. And really it will work out. But if you're dependent on that one transaction, it falls out, you're screwed. So instead of spending all your time on that thing, spend your time on offense, on growth, on productive things, marketing. Go out and get those next deals. Let this deal work itself out, because it will, and go find more deals.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you say are some of the ways that people can proactively work on this? I mean, number one, I would say, is just recognizing this concept, and if you have it, because it's very common, especially in beginners, or even in people who've been in business for years.
Most people have it.
Most people do have it, you're right, because most people are not top producers. But the top producers do get out of this. Actually, I remember a guy, it's another example of crazy small pipeline syndrome, is somehow this guy managed to work 50 hours a week. He was there early in the morning, he was there late at night, and he closed 3 or 4 deals a month in an industry where that was considered very low. But he was always there, he was always working, he was at every meeting, he's dressed in his tie and everything else. I don't know how you spend that much time on 3 closings a month.
Babysitting his deals, following up regularly, doing this, doing that. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get you anywhere. And when you get stuck in that, I think it's easy to get out, but it seems like a lot of people,
because we're used to it now.
Yeah, it's hard for them to get out of it. And I think really probably if this is you, and 90% of the people watching this, it probably is, starting tomorrow, set some sort of timer or whatever, and spend 2 hours of your day on transactional stuff. Following up with a title company, or following up with a seller, or doing this. The rest of your day has to be offense, marketing, creating a new process, educating yourself on, a new strategy, whatever the case is. But offensive things, or anything that has nothing to do with that transaction you have in hand. Yeah. Because you cannot afford to have that deal. I mean, you really can't afford for that deal to fall out. But if it does, you'll have a backup plan. And when you have other deals, and a lot of deals going on at any given time, you know how much confidence you have? If a seller says, yeah, I can't make this work, or we can't do this, you're not saying, okay, please, I'll take less. It's, take it or leave it. This is the way that it works. Or, take it or leave it. Like, this is the option, knowing that there's another deal right behind it.
Right. Confidence, that's a good point. Confidence is a big part of eventually getting out of small pipeline syndrome, when you are able to stay firm to your prices or your commission or whatever the offer is on the table, and you don't feel like you have to just get beat up by everyone in the transaction because you need it to close.
And that's what you're doing. You're getting abused by everybody because you have to. Oh, yeah. You're driving all around town, you're doing this, you're doing that. Like, I'm sure
making repairs on properties yourself.
Yeah, I'm sure it is a long, frustrating, headache-full, if that's even a word, day of just taking it.
Oh, that'd be miserable.
And then at the end of the day, the deal may not even close.
Right.
And you're screwed. So, and I mean, think about confidence that we have in some deals related to, like, on the loan side. We'll get a $1 million loan in, and someone tries to negotiate on a price, and like, I know what we can do and what we can't do.
Sure.
And I have that confidence, knowing that, hey, if a deal doesn't close, it doesn't close. Yeah. I want it to close. I get pissed off like crazy when a deal doesn't close, or you lose $1,000. But exactly, but it's not affecting the bottom line, and it doesn't hurt as much as one deal. If you only have one deal.
Right, because over time we've gotten the confidence that we know that we have marketing plans in place, that we each spend a good portion of every one of our days on offense, on growth activities, and there's plenty of other deals coming. What you can't afford to do is spend your whole career with small pipeline syndrome, because that sounds miserable. In addition to just getting that daily game plan down, but I like that too. I mean, just what you do in a day really is the difference between the people who fall out of the business and the top producers. What do you do from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed?
That's what we've been talking about for a lot on a lot of these shows recently.
For sure. And a way to make that more formal, developing that game plan, both the short-term daily thing and the long-term, is to work with a business coach. I mean, there are great coaches in every aspect of real estate or whatever industry you might be in to help you with that, to work on the important stuff, so that long-term you're going to have a great career, a great business, and not just be stuck in small pipeline syndrome forever.
Real estate's not the hardest industry in the world. And understand a transaction, you do a deal, you understand it. Yeah, you can get a little creative with that. So, like, having a business coach and taking it to the next level is not, oh, I want to be better at real estate. It's, I want to be more productive. I want to be better at marketing. I want to be better at, growth opportunities. I mean, we know real estate. We've done lots of deals.
Yeah.
And
once
people
you get it.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
And even somebody that's only done a few deals, like, they know real estate. Like, you understand the trade. It's fine. So forget all that. Don't worry about educating that on. Learn how to grow. Learn how to be more productive. Learn how to, manage, set processes, things like that.
Absolutely.
That's what the coach is for.
Definitely. I mean, think about it this way. Each transaction is just a widget, and your job is to do as many widgets as possible.
Yep.
And that's it. Because it's not brain surgery. You know what I mean?
So figure out a way to do them easier, faster, cheaper.
Yeah, smoother, all that.
Exactly. Cool. Anytime, reach out to us, hashtag the REI360 show. If you're listening to this on iTunes, please like it, comment. We appreciate any feedback that you have. Always open to answer any questions that you have as well. That's it for the show.
See you next time.
Thanks.